All right, what can I do for you?
All right. Um so as I wrote to you in the Discord, the questions that they asked me, and I know with our system we just do section A or short term, long term, but they're saying, what the hell are they saying? I don't know. And one of them said, please send me your information on your program. And I was like, okay. I noticed I get better response if I take out the term, meaning like the time length.
Right.
If I remove that, I seem to get responses. So I started removing that from my emails.
You know what's so funny? When we first started this, there was no term length at all. And do you know what everyone was saying? The
Huh.
realtors keep asking me what the term is and they're not responding. So that's why we added it. But no, that makes sense because think about it. Even though most people, realtors especially, know that standard mortgages are 30 years,
Right.
when you send someone a term of 40 years, that's like, oh,
What the
that's a
fuck?
long time, right? Exactly.
Exactly. I'll be dead, buddy.
Yeah. So I've been telling people replace the term with just whatever the appropriate balloon is and just be done with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's smart. That's good. Okay. So then what exactly can I help you with?
I just don't know how to answer this question. Like, what is? Tell me more information about your program. And then the other one was, um, he said, we would like more details on this information as a seller has a mortgage balance to pay at closing, and the down payment will not cover the mortgage balance or mortgage payments. And then I wrote back and said, well, what is the mortgage balance and what is his monthly payments? So we can
Mhm.
kind of work around that, but he hasn't responded yet.
I think that's the way that you responded, if I'm being honest with you,
Okay.
because you and it could be it's probably the realtor. It probably is. He may not or she may not like the idea of working with a wholesaler, and
Mm-hmm.
that question kind of triggers that immediately. What I would say in the future would be something along the lines of, hey, you know what, no problem, I didn't realize they had a mortgage, my mistake. I'll tell you what, why don't you go ahead and let me know what the approximate mortgage balance, interest rate, and monthly payment is, and I'll send you a new offer covering that mortgage also. So when you
Okay.
say that, yeah, it's a little misleading because technically, yes, I mean it's not a lie. You are going to send them an offer for a hybrid or a sub two, whichever is appropriate. But the way that you're wording it makes it seem like, especially to the point that the realtor made when they responded to you, your down payment won't cover their mortgage. Okay, well then just send me what their mortgage information is, and then I'll send you a new offer covering that mortgage. It makes it seem like that we're going to cover that mortgage via down payment, but we're actually going to cover that mortgage via a hybrid. But it gets you the information which moves the needle along, which is what you want.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
would just, it's just and again that I mean I that's not true. I was going to say that doesn't work all the time, but that works most of the time. Yeah, that works
Mhm.
most of the time. I didn't want to toot my own horn.
And as you know, I'm a Florida realtor, so I'm just speaking
I
as if
see that.
like, yeah, so I'm just speaking like, yeah, as if I talk to all my other realtors, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So
that's the best thing with you being a realtor and also not only understanding wholesaling, but being a wholesaler, you're right at the front line of being able to change the industry's mind on wholesaling. You just have
yeah,
to lead by example. So I that you're in a great spot because if you can start getting other real estate agents to see what you see, then you have an influx of basically unlimited deals coming in from those agents, which is what I always kind of push people to do. Build relationships with people so they will send you the deals. Then you don't have to go look for them. So you're on the right track. As far as what company you work for, I always tell people, I mean, just like me, I mean, I don't work for a company. It's just me. And that's
hmm,
exactly what I tell them. It's no company. I partner up with these investors locally. I've nurtured and cultivated a relationship with about 10 local investors in Florida or in Miami or in Boca Raton, wherever, doesn't
hmm,
matter. And I've spent the last few years cultivating these relationships with these investors. And I don't work for a company. I just work directly with them individually. That's my answer.
Hmm.
And if they ask you, well, yeah, but what's your company? Well, then they weren't listening because you literally said here's no company.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
um,
I do have a business LLC for my wholesaling and the flipping. Um, so I do have a separate business for that. But then my
you
real,
can give them that, but here's the thing: 9 times out of 10, when a person asks you, "Hey, what's the name of your company? Where are you located? Yada yada yada." They're asking you that, trying to scare you away, but they're not actually going to research you. But for that 1% or 10% that does want to actually look it up, you need to let them know, hey, yeah, I have a company, I have an LLC, but I mean, it's private. You're not, if you Google me, I mean, something might pop up, but it's not going to be anything significant because it's not an actual company. I operate under this LLC, but I've actually been cultivating these relationships with these local investors for the last few years. So I work with them directly. There's no company, so to speak.
hmm
So it always, no matter what the objection is, it always comes back full circle to the exact same answer.
yeah,
I may change up the beginning a little bit, but I'm gonna flow it right back to the same point, which is I don't have a company. It's just me, and I'm emphasizing that I've spent years cultivating. That's the important part. That's what I want them to hear. I want them to hear, yeah, I don't have a company, but I want them to hear and fixate on. I've been working on for years cultivating my relationship with these investors. These are serious people, and they work with me and me only. So if you want to get this house sold, if we can get these terms or something very close to it, then I know 4 or 5 of these investors that'll want to jump on it. All I need is 2 weeks so they can do their due diligence, and then I'll collect EMD and proof of funds, and I'll submit it to you 48 hours later. See, it
okay,
goes right back to my POF answer. It all full circle. It all goes. It doesn't matter how I start. I'm going to finish the same.
hmm yeah. Because I was thinking about saying something to that effect, but my thought was to be like, I'm actually a transaction coordinator. I work on behalf of these investors as they make me go out and look for the properties that they already trained me for and what their criteria is. So when I go out there look for it, they're already in line to buy whatever I bring to them because I worked with them for so many years.
You can say that, but then you run the risk of them saying, "Okay, fine, then go get your investor and tell them to come put their name on this contract," and then you're stuck.
Okay. I will
And
figure out a loophole for that one.
yeah, they will absolutely say that because it's true. That's a logical. Like a lot of people
Right.
think the responses that real estate agents are giving are absurd. No, they're not. They're not absurd. They
No.
absolutely make sense. They're just absurd for someone who's trying to wholesale. So tell them you're trying to wholesale it, and then they won't throw those roadblocks in front of you if they're okay with working with a wholesaler. And if
Right.
they're not okay with working with a wholesaler, they'll tell you immediately, and then you don't have to waste any more time on them.
hmm Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, and again, that's my personality. That's how I do it. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Like I used to own not own but ran a RIA group and here in Florida for I'm not sure if you heard he's like one of these top RIA group member, vice president or whatever he is. Um but Dustin, he owns like Tampa RIA, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia's RIA,
Mm-hmm.
or and I think he might be opening one in Texas. I'm not sure yet. But he had me open up one here in Florida and um I had shut it down because, I was doing all the work and he was like taking all the money. I'm like, bro, why don't you split it 50-50 with me? It's my time. You know what I'm saying? My time is worth money, you know?
Exactly.
So he was like, he didn't see it that way. He said, well, you're networking. And I'm like, bro, stop. Just stop with
Yeah,
your
you're going
bullshit.
to use my network to make some money, aren't you?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, no, I get
Eh,
it. I 100% get it. I started very similar. Long story short, the guy who trained me how to wholesale, and which to this day, regardless of what's about to come out of my mouth, what's about to come out of my mouth is the truth. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that, like, if he needed me today, I would go help him. Like,
Oh,
he's still my
absolutely.
boy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But what you did was fucked up in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what he did though, he ended up wanting to pay me, long story short, 3% as an no as my portion of the assignment fee. And that's obviously what am I supposed to do with 3%?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna work. And that's how I ended up starting, my own thing. So I know exactly where you're coming from. And yeah,
Yeah,
you got to do exactly what I did. Go get your own then. You don't need him.
yeah,
Go get your own.
exactly. Exactly. So I stopped it, and everybody, I had like over 200 responses of people saying, please come back. We want you to do the RIA group again. So I plan on to. I've been meeting some big timers that like has like 50K followers and stuff.
Mhm.
So to kind of keep them in line, like, hey, I'm going to be open up one again. So would you come and like be my speaker or whatever? I'm trying to get all of them in line so I can redo it again. But
Nice.
I do plan on doing one specifically and inviting only realtors and a couple of good wholesalers to also educate them on how we work.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully get them on board.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So you're going to say
I,
you're going to be a speaker, right?
I mean, as long as I don't have to show my face or tell people my real name, sure.
He's in County Grow.
I like knowing that, like, there's someone that is on my personal team that lives probably within maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the idea that I could walk right by him and his family and he would not know that that's me. And I've been working with him for 2 years. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, as long as
Wow.
I can keep that up, yeah, I'll talk and I'll help anybody. I don't care.
So sure, not your real name.
No, of course not. No. No.
You're such an asshole.
Yeah, no, that's not my real name. That's the guy I used to go to high school with.
Damn.
He's in my Spanish class and he was cool. So I'm like, all right, I'll take his name.
Oh my God. You're so cool.
Yeah,
Well,
no, the AI, the deepfakes, I don't like that. My voice is on the internet. So nah, I'm good. Because here's the thing, if I ever want to take a day off or something like that, I'll tell you this. My brother, he sounds, even though we're 9 years apart, he sounds exactly like me. His speech pattern, his tone of voice, his mannerisms, he sounds just like me. So if I ever want to take a vacation, no one knows what I look like. He can jump on here and be Sean for a week. That's fine. And I can take a day off.
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, does that answer your questions as far as the company and what they were asking? Like you feel like you've got that covered
I,
now, or do you want me to go deeper into it?
I understand that part. I just don't know how to answer the other chick who said, because she told me about the mortgage, the mortgage. The other one was,
Oh, you mean the one that's not responding to you now?
no. Well, yeah. Well, I wrote to him. He's in Texas. I'm doing Texas right now. Um, well, so listen, I have 2 employees.
Mm-hmm.
It's my son and my daughter. And my son would do Florida. I would do Ohio. My daughter does Texas. So this is
Okay.
actually my daughter's deal.
Okay.
But she's only 14. So,
Okay.
but it's just to get the numbers in, you know what I mean? Because I'm always busy, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're the fourth meeting today, and so I'm always like busy. So I hire them just like, hey, if you get something, I'll like pay you.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. So they're like cool with it, and hold on, what the hell? Sorry. So yeah, this one last lady, she was just like, tell me about your program. Like I'm like, what program? I mean, we have like, if you want to really be technical, we have a lot of programs, but I don't know why you asking that. Like, I'm
If
just trying to.
someone were to just ask me that out of nowhere, I would give them um, a combination of the why 0% answer, and I would give them that with a combination of my POF. And basically, I would combine, and this is only if you're looking for the wording. Obviously, you don't need any help with the wording. But for anyone else who watches this video, what I would do is I would read both of them. If anyone wants to get really good at talking to realtors, and I mean answering quick on the fly, they need to study the cheat sheet, memorize it. Because like I said, everything, no matter how I start the conversation, it's all going to come back to one of those two or a combination of them. So if someone says, what's the program? I would give them I would start with the why 0%. I would say, okay, well, here's what I do. I have 5 or 6 investors or 8 investors, 10, whatever, depending on the market you're in, that are looking for properties like this. They actually hire me to find properties like this. I've spent years cultivating these relationships. They work exclusively with me. So here's what I do. I find properties that they can cash flow. All of my investors are cash flowing investors. They're going to put a tenant in the property. and they're going to want to cash flow the thing. As long as I can get, here we go, full circle. As long as I can get terms at these, if I can get this deal at these terms or close to it, I got a little bit of wiggle room, then I know 4 or 5 of these investors will jump on it. I just need this thing under contract for 2 weeks. You can leave it on market if you want to. I don't care. I need this thing under contract for 2 weeks to give them time to do their due diligence. As soon as I identify which one of them is going to move forward, then I'll submit proof of funds, EMD, and we can get this thing closed 7 to 14 days later.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's what I do. Like, what's the program? That's the program. Program is I work with a lot of investors who are looking for cash flowing properties. I've identified this property as a potential cash flowing property under these terms. If we can get these terms, I'm very confident that one of my investors will take it down. Once I've identified which one's going to take it down, I'll give you everything that you need to make your sellers comfortable, and then we can get everybody paid and get this property sold. That's the program.
So all that verbiage that you just said just now is written somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's in the cheat sheet. Everything's in the cheat sheet.
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pull it because I like it. Straight to the point, no bluffing, no BS. I like it.
So you're looking for how to explain POF, and you're looking for closer towards the bottom. What's the title? Why 0%? What's it say? Come on, fucker. Why 0% interest answer. Combine, read those two and cultivate an answer from that. It's right there.
Okay.
Based off how you actually talk.
All right, cool. All right, I like it. I love it. And I appreciate you.
Not a problem. If you need anything else, you let me know.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
All right, I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right, see ya.
See ya.